かな。おはようございます。画像どうでしょう。画像とか音声どうでしょうか。あ、始まってるね。よし、ちょっとEAが入ってくれるまでにね。大丈夫かな。そう、EAが入ってくれるまでに、ちょっとみんなとお話ししようと思って入りました。よいしょ。どう映ってます？バッチリです。おはようございます。あ、たっかおはよう。はなちゃんおはよう。えりこ中村さんおはようございます。竹の神。よよ。えみりちゃんおはよう。みなさんおはよう。しげぴーさんおはよう。たっくん、おっせ OK。Thank you。まいまいちゃんおはよう。選択して。おはようございます。あ、よしきゅうさんおはようございます。娘ちゃんおはようございます。こえりさんおはようございます。嬉しい。まなりんちゃんおはよう。ここなちゃんかわいいでござる。あ、髪をねちょっと染め直したらよ。まだ慣れてないので変だけど。テレビの大画面で見ます。さちこちゃんありがとう。はるさんおはよう。エミリー美しいですよ。ありがとうございます。トイディちゃんおはよう。わーい。みさこ大塚さんおはようございます。かんかんちゃんおはよう。ロココちゃんおはようございます。若くしすぎて眠れなかった。私爆睡したよ。爆睡しなきゃと思ってね、超爆睡したよ。おはようございます。嬉しい。はようござる。よかった。のちゃんおはよう。よしのりさんおはようございます。イエーイ。スターモリアさんおはよう。カサブランカさんおはよう。かずえちゃんかなおはようございます。そうそう。やっぱりちょっと念押しでお伝えしたいんだけど、EA が多分あと15分、17分ぐらいで入ってきてくれると思う。うまく入ってくれるといいんだけど。入ってくれると思うんだけども、今回このライブは、ほとんどもう英語でやろうと思ってるんですね。いろいろ質疑応答とかもあるし。で、最後の方で、時間に余裕があれば、というか、ぜひぜひ、そのチャットからね、皆さんの声を上げて、家に届けたいとは思ってます。ちょっとどうなるかわかんないんだけど。あ、ケン中井さんおはよう。シャア専用のちゃんこちゃん。そうなんかね、今日あったかいんだけど、私お腹冷えるとトイレ行きたくなっちゃうから、これ着てます。うん。見かけよりこの、そう、大事、体調の方が。なんで、もう若くないんでね。CT さんおはようございます。嬉しい。エリちゃんおはよう。青いさんおはようございます。1115フランスさんおはようございます。前回以来セレナイトとアクアレインボークをつけてます。おー、ね、動画ね。ナイス。みほちゃんおはよう。嬉しい。うん、楽しむ。かおりスマイルさん、おやきちゃん、皆さんおはようございます。おはよう。とまともちゃんおはよう。ゆうこ吉田さんおはよう。いえさんコラボですか？うん、もうすぐ10時になったら入ってきてくれる模様。忙しいからね、EA も。一応ね、ちょっと不安だったから、不安っていうか、ね、一応ね、連絡はしてるけど、OK みたいな。OK って、楽しみにしてるみたいな返事だけ返ってきた。多分大丈夫。めぐみさん、よろしくお願いします。リアルタイムで見れるのは嬉しいです。嬉しい。76ともさん、楽しみにしていました。ありがとう。そう、道前さんかな。おはようございます。いつもありがとうございます。わーい。朝のまーちゃんおはようございます。タンポポちゃんおはようございます。シュモールさんおはようございます。森山さんおはようございます。あ、ダルちゃんおはよう。お、出かけました。耳だけでも嬉しい。ありがとう。ねえ、おはようございます。ロサンゼルスから、まあ、今家どっちにいるんだろう。どっちだろう。LA かな。ゆっこ吉田さん、わ、嬉しい。ありがとうございます。翻訳した動画アップしてほしいの。うん、します。もちろん。 メインの方でね、しますよ。おはようございます。イエとの対談楽しみです。ムーンレインボーさん、ありがとう。みはるちゃん、ありがとう。マーケットポーポーさん、はい、沖縄のこと、おはようございます。はい、萩原さん、おはようございます。あ、岩見神楽と浜田の風景2さん、おはようございます。稲風って美味しかったです。わー、嬉しい。いつも喜んでました。嬉しい、嬉しい。よし、いい感じ。ちょっとウォーミングアップだぞ。見れてるね。大丈夫だね。そうよ、そうよ。メインチャンネルがあんまりチャンネルの名前言ってさ、こっちがさ、消えちゃったら、ライブ中とかに消えちゃったら怖いんで言わないけど、メインチャンネルの方がちょうど1週間前にバーンされちゃって、みたいな。で、ライブ間に合うかなって思って計算したら1週間でちょうど今日のお昼ぐらいに解除なんですよね。なんで、と思って、もういいやと思って、チャンス取らない方がいいって思ったんで、こっちのいつもライブとかやってるおやきチャンネルでやろうって思いました。そうそう、スピカちゃん、家事しながら参加します。嬉しい。ありがとうございます。ゆかりんちゃん、おはようございます。石田さん、おはようございます。バンブーヤちゃん、おはよう。よかった。そうそう。だからメインチャンネルで待ってくれてる人がほとんどかなと思って、ちょっと結構、わーって研究で拡散してって皆さん拡散してくださった方、本当ありがとうございます。そうそう。なんかね、あれメインでやるんじゃなかったのってなったらね、もう残念なんでね。そう。EA の家の波動っていうかね、感じてほしいって思って、英語わかんなくてもわかるじゃないですか、波動とかで。なんで、ぜひぜひ。そうそう。Happy Creator、ユミさん。Hi from California, sending you love. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. カリフォルニアのどこだろう。私、フレズノとサンフランシスコ、北の方にいたかな。あゆみさんどこだろう。よなかさん、おはようございます。久美子さん、おはようございます。ルンルンさん、おはようございます。髪色変えた。変えたんですよ。もうしっかりここ黒でパツキンだったんで、もうそろそろなんかしようと思って、本当はね、ピンクにしようと思ったけど、っていう感じ。なんか、任せたらこの色になったって。まだ慣れてないけど、慣れたらいいんじゃないか。まささん、おはー。加藤だって。まさこちゃん、おはよう。嬉しい、嬉しい。エングリッシュがわからぬでござるよ。そう、わからないけど波動だけ受け取っててください、最初の方。質疑応答もね、ちょっと個人的な質問は、あれかなと思って、個人的な質問、こういう経験があったけどどうなんですかっていう質問もあって、あとはね、一応書いてるけど、優先的には皆さんに関すること、日本に関することがいいかなと思って、まとめてます。なので、こんな感じ。これが終わってから時間があればチャットから拾いたいなって思ってます。お肉バターちゃん、おはよう。あと10分だね。ほんとちゃんとつながれたら、もうそれだけでいいや。それだけで私任務完了みたいな。皆さんと EA ちゃんつながれたら、私も任務完了。それだけでもいいや。安心。ありがとうございます。拡散してくださった方々、本当ありがとうございます。嬉しい。ちょっとのんびり、皆さんで交流、そう、動画の最中、ライブの最中もぜひぜひ皆さんで交流して、チャットはチャットで盛り上がってくださいね。私、ちょろちょろっと目を向けるかもしれないけど、テンパる可能性がかなり高いんでね。面白い。嬉しい。香りスマイルちゃん、ありがとう。髪型、髪色、ありがとうございます。いやーねすごい楽しみ。もうこれもまたいろんなことあるかもしれないけど、学びだと思ってるんで。エイゲちゃん、いつもありがとう。すごいいいフォローをしてくださる。はい。いい感じ。今日もね、天気で、晴れで良いですよ。もう、おじいちゃん、ばあちゃんたちはもう田んぼですよ、もうみんな。 この後ろもね、昨日、じいじの黄金米の苗を植えましたよ。だから、そう、後でね、手伝いたいと思ってて、子供たちと手伝ったらぐちゃぐちゃなんか、最近っていうかもうね、機械で植えるじゃないですか。でも機械でこのコーナーで植えられないところとかあるので、そこをね、植えたい。私そういうのすごい好きなんでやりたいなって思ってて、もしまだ残ってたらやろうかなと思ってます。スピカちゃん、テンパっても見守ってます。ありがとう。まさちゃん、まささん、反転着てるの懐かしい。そう、これもういつも着てるんですよ、これ。寒いから。そう、皆さん緊張してくださってる方が。なんか子供を見守るみたいなね、運動会の子供が用意ドンするのを見守るみたいな心境かもしれないね。嬉しい。かおるさん、ありがとう。おはようございます。わーい。面白い。田植えしたいね。田植えは本当、いいよ。無心でなんかこう、苗を植えていくとかね、いいですよね。なんか好き。草刈りもこう、ウィーンって。無心で何かするって私は好きです。ブラスが可愛い。これかな？可愛いですよね。これアフタヌーンティーとお友達がくれたんですけど、違うわ。ルピシアか。ルピシアっていう紅茶のなんかあります、専門店。これ中にこう、茶葉を入れるのがあるんですけど、あれが赤でね、すごい、これクリスマス仕様なんですよ。めっちゃ可愛いんですよ。お気に入りです。お友達のちーちゃんが、みんなに買ってくれたって。私のを最初にくれて、みんなね、うちの家族、私も欲しい、僕も欲しいみたいな感じでね、全部届けてみんな分届けてくれたっていう。ちーちゃん、ありがとう。はい。にゃんこ BC さん、フロリダからおはようございます。おはようございます。フロリダだから何時だろう。結構夕方とかだよね。カリフォルニアで6時だから。みんなでマカラ村行きたい。ぜひぜひ、ぜひぜひ。うんうんうん。ね、また近々そういう情報も、そう、できたらなって思うんですけど、タラちゃん、素足で田植えしない。そう、素足でしたいんだけど、多分長靴でやるかな。昔は素足だったよね。それも気持ちいいよね。でもちょっとヘビが出たら怖い。ヘビがちょっと数日前、大きいヘビを見つけたんでね、もう、今年初めてのもう出てますよ。家に入ってきたりするからね。やまみちゃんおはよう。なんかね、ちょっと皆さんにこう、いきなり10時で始めちゃうと、皆さんにおはようございますできないと思ってね。おはようございます。先日の竹野新さんみたいにドキドキ。ゆらぎさん、はじめまして、ライブ初参加です。ありがとうございます。かよっちゃん、やっほー。嬉しいね。嬉しい、嬉しい。皆さん、ありがとうございます。ひとみさん、はじめまして。紹介でこちらのチャンネルしました。よろしくお願いします。よろしくお願いします。楽しんでってください。あと6分。EA って早入りとかすんのかな。どうなんだろう。フロリダ夜9時ですね。そっかそっか。あっちの方が早いんだね。じゃあ、いい感じのまったりタイムですね。タラちゃん、もうヘビー。それは嫌だね。私別に嫌いではないんだけれども、やっぱりニョロニョロ感がね、なんか、私の足の横を通ってったから、へへへっつって、すごい叫んだっていう。パラソル、ありがとうございます。パラソルはね、ココナちゃんから、これお母さんの誕生日プレゼントで私がちょっと借りて拝借しております。すごい可愛いの。これ、飴用なんだけど、超可愛い。借りております。近くちゃん、おはようございます。オラ、オラ。ブラジルは何時だ？夜かな？ 10 時とかかな。リン・ムジョイさん。ヘビが家に入ってきたら退治はどうするの？長い棒で外に出す。男子陣がそう、でも、主人のマカナが世界で一番嫌いなものが嫌いというか苦手なのがヘビらしくてね、もう本当、これから ね、マカナ村で田んぼとか畑とかどうやってやっていくのって思うんだけどね。まあそこら辺は慣れていくでしょう。あ、翔さん、はじめまして。仕事休んで参加です。わお。このためじゃないよね。嬉しいな。かゆちゃん、緊張してる？さっきはね、なんか緊張してて、ちょっと王室神事を読みながら、落ち着いた感じです。こうやってみんなとやりとりしてたらね、だいぶいい感じになってきてる感じです。ロンウルさん、皆さん、はじめまして。EA さん、僕の質問よろしくお願いいたします。どれだったっけどれだったっけでもさっきも言ったけど、個人的な質問は、よりは、全体への質問を優先的にしてるので、もう本当もし言わなかったらごめんなさい。ごめんなさいね。そう、こんな感じ。あと4分。そう、そんな感じです。いいですね。なんかみんないつもライブに来てくださる方はみんなスタンバイ OK ですね。よし。わーい。M さん、毎春アップデートされて幸せな日々です。外側の何かに振り回されて自分の魂に根ざすこと。私もそうですね。よくわかります。ヤギちゃん、庭木の先手の取材しないといけないが、ご自由せん。私もね、この後は、ちょっと、マカナが子供たちを連れてね、ここら辺わちゃわちゃしたらちょっと大変なことになっちゃうんで、そう、連れてってくれてます。香木の森っていう素敵な公園があるんですけど、なので、ありがたいことです、本当に。ね。セニちゃん、そうそう、まだ EA は入ってないけど、始まってるよ。ルンルンちゃん、のどかでいいですね。そう、ここでいつもね、動画編集とかをしております。寒くなければ。ちょっと冷え性なんでね。いつから冷え性になったんだろう。はい、そんな感じです。そう、反転あったかいんですよ。うさぎちゃんいつもありがとう。うさぎの足跡をいつも置いてってくれるっていうね。いつもなら寝る時間だけどコーヒー飲まれる。そうだよね。遅いよね。はい。もうそろそろかな。セミちゃん、田んぼ終わったんですか？いや、終わってないかな。ここはもう、でも終わったのか。田植えは昨日終わって、あとは、機械で植えれてないところを直してる感じ。EA さんとのライブは初めてですよ。みはるちゃん。初めてです。やりとりはメールで何度かあるけど。ゆみかはりみさん、Nice to meet you. Good morning. Good morning. シモールさん、香木のも行ったことあります。あるんだ。いいとこですよね、結構。駐車場とかも、なんつうのただなんで。ちょっと EA からメールが来てないかとか見とこうかな、一応。だってもう10時だもんね。よし。来てない。来てないと思う。時差もね、もう何百回と確認したことか。これで合ってるよね。これで合ってるよね。つって。すごい確認した。だからもうそろそろかな。鼻血出たらどうしようとか。入ったよ。みんないい入ってきてくれたよ。やばい。いい。OK するよ。OK するよ。3、2、1。わーい。Hello?
Hello. Okay, wait. I gotta change my audio, microphone, speaker.
I can hear you perfectly.
Connect my AirPods.
Wow.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh.
Awesome. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm really well. Thanks for interviewing me, having me on,
thank you
reaching
so
out.
much. Oh my gosh. I was just watching your the newest video. that you uploaded an hour ago,
Yep.
2 hours ago, something like
Yep.
that. Wow, interesting stuff.
Totally.
Yeah. Oh. So we're on live, right? Live streaming right now. And everybody's
Cool.
like commenting so fast.
Awesome. Hi, everyone.
Oh, I want to show you, but you can see it later, maybe. Oh,
Yeah, for
okay.
sure.
Yeah. So I'm not nervous, actually. I was so nervous like an hour ago, and I wanted to get on live first before we start talking, so I can chat with everybody.
Yeah.
And they were like, "You're okay," and yeah, so they're cheering me up, so I'm okay. All right, so let's start.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm Oyaki, and I have been, I think for a year, I have been translating your messages, beautiful messages, to people in Japan, and they love you. They love you, and they love your messages. And we're so thankful that what you're doing. And there are some people who are right now watching and who are not, who don't know you yet. So can you
Cool.
please introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Very
Thank you.
cool. Well, I just wanted to start off and say thank you so much for spending the time to translate these messages and to give them to your community. And I really think that this information is very universal, and it can apply to anyone in any culture, in any language. And it's because of people like you where I can really get these messages out. So I am just sending you so many good vibes and lots of love for what you've been doing. I really, really appreciate it. So I just wanted to start off by saying that. And I guess for people who don't know who I am, I was born in this life with extrasensory abilities, so very kind of sensitive to energies and thoughts and emotions from other people. I was able to see and communicate with ghosts and spirits at a young age, as well as interdimensional beings. I didn't know I was talking to aliens, but I was. And so it's been a journey. I'm 29 now. I shut down my abilities for quite some time. I reawakened my abilities at around the age of 16 through a past life regression. Then I started to get heavily involved in past life regression. And that's where I really opened up to things like remote viewing, astral traveling, getting into deep states of trance, telepathy, and, connecting to those other realms again. And then shortly after that, I got abducted by interdimensionals. And that's when, my whole world opened up to, oh my goodness, aliens are real. They're here, they're interacting with us. And why are they here? And why are they interacting with us? What's going on? And so it's really through my, constant curiosity where I continue to kind of unpack and unravel different pieces of information. So that's kind of a little bit about my background and who I am and where I came from and, why I'm talking about all this stuff now.
Cool, thank you. Okay, so I will be translating later on. I don't want to spend time translating, and so we have limited time. Okay, so sometimes even to me, some people would say, because I upload stuff right on YouTube, and I get some money, right, by uploading, right? And some people say things like, you shouldn't be doing that and stuff like that. And I don't really care. But I do have a dream of creating a community where people can come and live together and doing whatever they want to do and harvesting whatever we need to eat, right? So we don't rely on supermarkets. We don't rely on things that are being sold right now. So that's my and husband's and my vision in the future, and that's why I'm doing this. And I think I know that you've been sending out messages that you have visions too, you have goals too, right?
Mhm.
And I remember that you were talking about in Canada, you want to create or build a facility where you can have a school for psychic children, right?
Yep.
And at this time, I want you to kind of talk about the vision and goals for us, please.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I just want to say, you know, I think it's more than appropriate for you to accept donations for your work and what you're doing. And I think that, you know, all the information that comes through me, it's not mine. I don't own it. I can't claim it. It's not my information. It's universal truth. And I think the reason why you came into contact with this information is because it's your information too, right? It's like we're all sharing this information, and I love the dream that you have, and I think you and I should stay connected, because maybe in the future we can collaborate. You know, maybe you create a community like that, I create a community like this, and we share our communities with each other. You know what I mean? Like, that's what the future holds. It's a collaborative effort. It's a unifying effort. It's you have a piece that I need and I have a piece that you need, and we share that. And I think that that's really beautiful. So I just wanted to let you know that I think that your vision is amazing, and we need these communities. We need sustainable communities for the future. So that's really important. I honestly have so many things that I want to do in this life, and I just keep reminding myself that I've got time to do all the things, but I still feel like I'm always behind. So I really actually want to also open up a nonprofit organization. Like I have like lots of passions, but the couple things that I'm really passionate about, one is actually the Indigenous people. So whether it be Indigenous, you know, in North America, Indigenous in China or other places in the world, you know, we have been really just underplaying their involvement in us and our culture, and you know, the star families and the star people, and so I really want to kind of help them in whatever way I can, especially helping the Indigenous youth coming back into power, stepping back into their tradition, stepping back into knowledge. So I would love to create a nonprofit helping the Indigenous in whatever way I can. I would also love to create a nonprofit helping children, or even just people in general, men, women who have come from really abusive, like sexually abusive situations, but specifically with like child sex trafficking or just sex trafficking in general. That is happening all over the world. It's not talked about enough. It's not seen enough. There aren't enough organizations. There isn't enough government money that are going into helping these people recover, because it's a lifelong recovery. So I'm really passionate about that. And then the other thing that I would love to start in this lifetime, another, you know, nonprofit organization, would be, I feel like there's a lot of, how do I say it? I guess it would be like cults. I feel like there's a lot of cults still happening in the world. And the reason why I feel so strongly about people who are stuck in these kind of cult situations is because there are individuals who come out with good intentions, and they end up skewing the truth, and they end up really manipulating and taking people's power away from them. And because I've been caught up in those kind of dynamics in past lives, I want to help people who are in cults or involved in cults, and I want to help get them out of that. And I believe that there are many religions that are actually cults. Like a good example would be Scientology. I feel very passionate about helping people who have been trapped in Scientology their whole life, you know, so that's another huge passion. And then a side project would be developing a school. I feel really, really passionate about just the youth, kids, you know, these are going to be our next presidents. They're going to be our next, you know, way showers, thought leaders, doctors, you know, physicians, whatever. They're going to be in those roles. And so I really want to develop a school that is going to help these individuals, these kids, understand what this old society is and understand how to build a brand new society. I want to teach them the real things that matter and not, freaking math equations, that we're never going to apply in our life. Like, I'm terrible at math to begin with, but seriously, like, come on, when are we ever going to do that unless you're going to be an engineer or something and then have at it, So so I feel really passionate about that as well. So once again, that's just like the tip of the iceberg of what I want to accomplish. But yeah, lots of ways in which I want to give back.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. So like my channel's followers, they know what you're doing. They know what your visions are. So some people were asking how to donate to you. What's the best way to donate from Japan? Is it PayPal?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah. So I do have a donation link. I actually don't think the donation link is on my website.
Okay.
So for right now, what I would say is the best way to give back is either get a Galactic Federation recording. I know the time zone's all weird, but purchase a product, get a recording, join the Cosmic Society membership, and that way they're getting value and they're supporting me and kind of what I want to do. Now, obviously, when I do start to create these nonprofits, there's going to be fundraising, there's going to be kind of a global outreach. And at that point in time, they can choose where they want to allocate those funds and that donation to based on the specific project. So for right now, the Cosmic Society membership or the tickets, that supports me in writing my book, in supporting my team, in those kind of ways as well.
I see.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea when you're going to start doing those things that you were just talked about? Couple years?
So it's been really coming to me like a lot more recently of just starting a nonprofit. And it's tough because there's like 3 different nonprofits that I want to start. And I'm like, do I just pile them all under one roof or do I dedicate one, per kind of umbrella? So I'm kind of in between. I would say a good projection would be that I would want to get something like that started for 2023. So that, as early as next year, at some point, I would love to get that started. Yeah, without a doubt.
So cool.
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So what should I ask you? There are so many things that I want to ask you, but some questions that you just answered. Okay. All right. So I'm really honored to be able to have this interview with you, and I can't thank you enough for letting me translate your message. And let's see. I couldn't have done it without your wife, Nat, because she picked up my message, right? And she connected with you. So she let me connect with you. So is Nat around?
She's away. Unavailable. Yeah, she's unavailable at the moment. Yeah. But you know what? I will for sure let her know that please. You really appreciate her. And she loves hearing that too. So
great. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And regards to that, there was a question from one of my followers, and his name is Mark, and Mark has asked you, as far as I know, EA is the only person I can find who is an influential spiritual leader who is openly proclaiming to be a same-sex couple. Would you give message to Japanese people who are LGBT?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to.
Great.
I really believe that this new generation coming up, like not even my generation, but even the younger one below me and below that, there's so many young kids who are fluid. That's what I call it. It's just gay, straight, bi, whatever. Throw out all the labels. Like, I am so sick of the LGBTQIAZP, blah, 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 blah. Like, we are an inclusive community. Why do we continue to separate ourselves with more labels? Like, it just baffles me. And I can speak to this because I'm a part of it. but I really believe that where we're going is a very fluid, direction. Love a human, love another human. It doesn't matter who they are or what they identify as. It's a human to a human. And I think it's really important that we start to realize that, and we start to accept everyone for who they are. And even if someone doesn't know who they are, to accept them for that not knowing, And so I truly believe that there's a lot of starseeds out there that are just fluid and struggling to fit in underneath the heavy confines of the societal pressures. It's time for us to really break free, and even break free of all the labels within the LGBTQ community, and say, I'm just a human and I deserve to be loved as such. And actually, the other day, I went to a where did I go? I don't know. I was traveling somewhere. Okay. I was like driving, and I wore this shirt, and the shirt on the back said gay, straight, black, white, only human. Right. And it's like, no matter what skin color, no matter what age, no matter what sexual preference, no matter what gender, we're all just human. And by wearing a shirt like that and just having people read it, hopefully it's shifting their vibration, it's changing their mindset. I think that's really important. So yeah, I would say to really just be yourself, and to break away from what the government or society or different religions are telling you is okay or acceptable, and to really own who you are, because that's where you shine the brightest.
Totally agree. And I also think that, we have been brainwashed so much that we think that it's wrong to like the same gender. And so I totally agree. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I asked you to have an interview with me, that's when I just uploaded the video about energy vampires, you remember? Right. Yeah. So some people were asking about that, and one question is, you introduced how to get primary energy from the source, but how about cutting codes? There are many ways, I suppose, but can you tell us how you cut codes? Can you tell me?
For sure. So, everything in this realm all comes down to intention, right? And focus, which is actually the video that I did today. And so it's really important that it's as easy as setting the intention of, I'm going to cut a cord with this person. You don't have to be able to see the cord. You don't have to be psychic or telepathic or tuned in even, just to really make a statement of, I am cutting a cord with you, and you are no longer going to feed off of my energy. You immediately cut that cord. So it's really as easy as setting an intention and sticking with it.
Okay, because what I do is I called Archangel Michael, and I image that he cuts my cord with that person. But okay, that totally makes sense.
And that works too. Yeah, I mean, it's whatever, but some people have a difficult time imagining or visualizing, right? So for those people, I just say, make a statement. We all have a voice, and it's time to, even if it's just a statement in your own mind, it's just to really be clear about what you want, and it will happen at an energetic level.
Wow. Yeah. Consciousness. Right. 久松さん、スパチャありがとうございます。Okay, sorry, super chat. Okay. Okay, another question. Is ascension to the fifth dimension something that we can be aware of? Can we notice the difference between third, fourth, and fifth dimensions? Will everyone be able to access with DFL like you do?
Yeah. Okay. So yes, I think everyone has the ability to access the Galactic Federation of Light, the ability to access different realms, their psychic abilities. I mean, I'm so strongly firm in this that everyone has these abilities. And then what was the first part of that question?
Yes. Can we recognize be aware of
yes.
the when we ascend to fifth dimension.
Third, fourth, fifth.
Yeah.
It's tough, you know, like even me in my own day, I don't recognize flipping back and forth between vibrations until I react to something in a lower vibration. And then I'm like, oh, I'm in a lower vibration. I'm in the third, you know, or until I'm like crying because the sky is so beautiful and I'm so grateful. And I'm like, oh my God, you know? And so I'm aware of it more so based on my own actions and reactions to my reality. It's the same reality. It's the same sky, but I'm very aware of my perception of the sky. I'm aware of the perception of my day rather than the day itself, if that makes sense. The room is going to stay the same. The reality is going to stay the same. The sky is going to stay the same, but how are you perceiving it? And I believe that once we become really fine-tuned and aware of our perception, that's when we can understand, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to have those kind of reactions. I don't want to be, you know, pissed off or angry or reactionary or triggered all the time. How do I switch that? And then you start to really do the work once the awareness comes in.
Wow. You're going to make me cry. Like
you're in the fifth. You're in the fifth.
Yeah. I totally. Wow. I just realized because every week I do meditation on live streaming with everybody who's watching it, and just to send light and love to the earth. And one time there's a big cherry blossom tree in the backyard, and I was looking at it before we were praying, and then I just start crying because it's so beautiful, right? Yeah. So, oh my gosh. That totally makes sense. Oh,
totally.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Besides that, I just, something came into my mind. There is, it's not long. It's about 40-minute video that you did on child. Right, child, and you were crying and you're talking about it. Do you remember? Like it was 1 or 2 years ago, and I'm translating that because I think everybody needs to know, and that activates, right? And it's really important. So yeah, I'm doing that, and then hopefully after I can upload my video, I'm gonna do that. But I think that I could understand why everybody's holding back. Everybody's like blind to the psychic abilities that we might have because of that. That made sense to me a lot. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to do that. Okay, so another question. In Japan, it's very common for people to leave offerings at the cemetery for the deceased. It could be snacks or beer or anything that they liked when they were alive. Do you think they get to taste the offerings? That's a question.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've done a lot of work with spirits and people who have crossed over to the other side. One of the things that they really miss about this reality is the visceral sensory connection to this reality, which is the 5 senses, the taste, the touch, the smells, the sights, the sounds, and all of that. And so from what I've experienced, I don't believe that they can taste the offerings. However, I believe that that's such a beautiful way to honor your deceased, because they're there. Like when you think about someone who's crossed over, they come into your field. So when you take the time to go to their site, to go to the corner store, to pick out their favorite things, to bring those things, to their burial site, is so beautiful. To take that effort to really honor that person, they feel that, they know that, they feel so much joy because of that. So I think that that's incredible. And I honestly think that one thing that we're really missing in the Western world is a proper honoring of our loved ones. These days there aren't even funerals or burial ceremonies. A lot of people in the Western world are like, okay, whatever it's called, they put them in the fire, right? They
yeah,
incinerate them
yes,
or whatever,
yes,
right?
yes.
And so, I mean, there's a part of that that I resonate with, because I mean, what is a body really? But then there's another part of it of, are we really getting the closure that we need? So I really feel like we need to step into a new system to honor our deceased loved ones, you know, in the Western world anyway. So it's really cool to hear that you guys do that in Japan. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Sometimes I hear that there's nobody in the cemetery. Like the soul is not there, right? I hear that often. So what's the point of going there? But to the deceased people, maybe that's a good way for us to show them that we care.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. And think about it this way too. Like, you don't even have to go to the cemetery to honor them. I mean, you could crack open a beer and say, this one's for you, you know, I love you, right? And they're right there with you. So no matter if you go to a place or you're just honoring them at home, it's the thought that counts, right? It's the intention.
Okay. Intentions, consciousness. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I missed one question. Oh, okay. There's another question about third dimension and fourth dimension, fifth dimension. She says, I often hear other channelers say that some people stay in the third dimension and others ascend to the fifth dimension, and they go to different worlds. What do you think about that?
That's a good question. Something that I've heard before is when we make this shift into a higher realm, the fifth dimension, there's going to be certain people who the words would be like get left behind. So that came to me all the way back in like 2011 when I first got introduced to the Galactic Federation, that, you know, there's certain people who are not going to make it to the fifth dimension. And I thought at that time, I'm like, all my friends, all my family members, anyone who I've ever met is definitely not in the fifth dimension. So I'm going to leave them all, like, it's just me. I'm like, hi, I'm alone. Now, though, that was back in 2011. Now, I mean, I could see pretty much, you know, all my friends, all my family members moving into the higher realm, which is really a blessing to see, just that the awakening is happening at a rapid pace. So, I think that there is some credence to that. Like, I think that there is some truth in that of there's a possibility that certain people will not make it over to the higher vibrational realms. And what I've channeled a long time ago is those people will not be killed. There's no, you know, there's none of that. They will be taken to other places, other worlds that are also third dimensional to live out their third dimensional lives if they choose not to move over. I do also believe that in the past couple of years, there has been a lot of early exit points, whether it be through freak accidents or just getting sick or what have you. People have been choosing to cross over early because they know that the path that they're on, they're not going to make it to the higher vibrational realms. So there's also a lot of that as well, like a mass exit that's taking place as well. And of course, there's no such thing as death. It's all just recycled energy. But yeah, so I think there's a little bit of the truth in that. And I'm hoping that we get to a point where we're all in such a good vibration that there isn't going to be that. It doesn't have to be that way. We can all move together into this higher state.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, when I was listening what you're saying, I kind of saw this vision, like they're there, like everybody is there, but because we're on a different dimensions that we don't see them even though they're there. I don't know, that's kind of because sometimes I talk to friends that I used to be a good friend, but then it's not, I don't know, I don't excite, I don't I'm not happy to talk to them because
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yes. So right now at this time, there are people who are in higher vibrational realms and there are people who are in lower vibrational realms. And most of the time, like, especially when you go to a busy city, it's like ships passing in the night. It's like they don't see you, you don't see them. You're just in different vibrational frequencies. And same thing when you talk to certain people, you're like, oh my goodness, how's the weather today?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you know, there's nothing else to talk about. And you're just hanging out. You're like, okay, I'm gonna go. So this is nice, you know. So there's that for sure. That's absolutely happening.
Mhm.
And then, like I said, there might be some sort of event or some sort of split or something that happens where those people are escorted off the planet. Like, I just don't fully know what that future looks like, but it's very clear that at this time, you know, that separation and energy has been progressing.
I totally feel that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Ooh, there's a bee. All right. So there's a question that I always think, and I kind of know the answer to, but that question is, why are you so beautiful?
Oh my goodness, I've never been asked that before. I don't know what to say about that. Oh, you know what? I do have something to say about that. Yeah. I laugh at this all the time, that like my true self, or at least the self that's truest to me, is this tall, you know, 7 foot tall, gray, you know, not so nice looking being, but I'm a really cool gray being though. And I always laugh that I chose in this lifetime to put myself into a basic bitch, you know, type of body, to be like, hi world, and then to just blow their mind on the back end, you know. So I do think that I put myself strategically into this human form for a reason, to actually bridge the gap between the boho, spiritual, hippie, aloof, woo-woo community and the mainstream world that is like such an eye roll, you know. But I do feel like I can speak to both sides and hopefully bridge the gap, and not in a basic bitch way, but in a very high level way. And I think that that's why I'm presenting as this, you know, specifically. So yeah, that's what I would have to say about that.
Okay. Well, I think that because you would have to be, I don't want to be rude. You would have to look decent, right? To catch people's eyes, I think.
Yeah.
So that when I make a thumbnail to the video that I translate on your videos, I try to look for the best smiling picture of you in the video.
It's hard, right? Like,
well, no, it's not hard. It's not hard at all.
Literally, I do the same. I look for thumbnails in the video, and the whole time I'm like, why do I open my mouth so wide? Like, what? I'm just like, I know you know it's hard. It's like, I'm never, you know what I'm gonna do for you?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do it for me too. I'm gonna smile for like a minute and a half at the beginning of each video, and it's just, I'm just deadpan looking into the camera. Just that's it. That's what I'm gonna do. And now, you know, first minute and a half, just deadpan, just, and everyone is gonna comment, what's going on? Is she a robot? Is she a clone? I knew it this whole time. Illuminati puppet, she's frozen. No, guys, I'm doing it for the thumbnail. Come on.
No, but you have such a beautiful smile that no, I don't. I take time, but yeah, it's not that hard.
I think it's really hard. I like, it's always, my mouth is always open. I don't even pause for a breath. I'm like, what am I doing? I need to talk slower. That's what I need to smile more and talk slower, because my mouth is just always open. And then YouTube auto generates the thumbnails sometime, and they choose the worst ones. I'm like, no, YouTube, no. Okay, I'm putting my foot down. That's not okay. That's not an attractive look. All right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, you're beautiful. You're hard too. You're hard too. I remember in your video, I think that the energy vampire video, that you were talking about how you would go out with Nat to supermarkets and stuff, and people would stop and talk to you, like how. Why commenting on your clothes and stuff like that. But yeah. I think you just have a high vibration. right? You're always on a high vibration, and you always receive high energy, pure energy. That's why, just shining all the time.
Yeah, I think so. I think people are attracted to that vibration, you know, and unfortunately, the opposite end of that vibration, you know, it attracts a lot of stalkers. Like I have dealt with, long before YouTube, long before social media, I have dealt with people who get, like, honestly, a little bit addicted to the good energy. And then they either feel like they misinterpret it. They're like, oh my God, we're soulmates, or we're meant to be together, or like, you know. So I've really had to kind of deal with some tricky situations in that regard, because my human is like, this is not what I expected, or this isn't what I wanted, you know, and it's very awkward for me in that dynamic. So of course, being online now, you get the whole, you know, everyone from all over the world is looking at you. And we've unfortunately had to deal with, you know, some stalker situations, and that's it's just not fun to deal with that, because it's like, I don't know, I just, that's never my intention, basically. I just feel like what I put out there is being, you know, skewed in a different way.
Okay. Wow, that's horrible, kind of. It's somebody stalking me. Oh, and I don't even want to think about it. Okay. All right. So I have some personal questions. I wanted to ask you like a question for everybody, like in Japan, people would understand. And there were some personal questions I want to ask you.
Cool.
All right. This person, a couple of years ago, he calls it a creator of this world. That creator of this world kind of telepathically asked this person, do you want to go to the universe? That's a question that the creator asked. And he said, yes, I want to go. Okay. And then from his heart, it was like some weird thinking, like it's coming out. And then the soul just came out, right out from his heart. It felt like, he said. And it was totally, when he went to the universe, it was totally different from what he imagined, he says. And then, so his question is, why, if you have the answer, okay, what you think? Why did the creator want me to see that world, see that universe? Was that the trigger to wake me up as a light worker? What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Do you understand? Sure. I was trying to.
Definitely.
Okay.
So I've encountered experiences very similar to that, especially on the beginning journey of my awakening. And I've also heard experiences like that from many others as well. And so just know that there are different levels of the universe and different places in the universe that you can explore. And I think that, you know, those places are so incomprehensible for us. We can't understand it. We can't have any sort of expectation around it because it's not this, you know, it's not this world, right? So I'm not surprised that it wasn't what he expected, because what do you expect the universe to look like, right? So yeah, I think that the reason why we encounter these beings and the reason why they choose us or you know, individuals to kind of go on this journey is because A, you probably asked for it and you were seeking some sort of experience like that, or else it wouldn't have happened. And B, it's meant to give you the understanding of the expanse that we're in. Like for me, my beginning kind of opening of everything was all about how large everything is, but simultaneously how interconnected it all is, which is really mind-blowing in and of itself. So it really feels like that's part of what he was experiencing, and the experience that he called in was to understand how vast the universe is, and to understand how we, as a small little speck on this one planet, are actually connected to the whole.
Wow. Makes sense. Yeah, it wouldn't be we won't understand it probably, right?
Yeah.
Whatever the answer is, we won't
Yeah.
understand it if we're still in third or living on this earth.
Yeah.
Totally understand. Okay. Another question. This person lives in Italy right now, and she wants to ask you something about Italy. It's about V, what I call it, V.
Mhm.
Okay. It's really strict in Italy, right? Maybe you know it. And she doesn't know why she's living in such a horrible place, because V is so strict. Enforcement is strict. Why do you think she's there?
That's a good question. And I think a lot of people have this kind of question. Like, I know other places like Australia is super strict. There's places all over the world right now. I mean, Canada, right? Such an eye roll. That's like really bad. And so, I mean, immediately what comes to me is you're there to increase the vibration. If a country is so strict like that, what that's going to mean is all of the people in that country are in fear, because the country is telling the people to be in fear. You know, it breaks my heart to see like parents who are unmasked, but the 10-year-old kid, it feels like they need to wear a mask because they're so scared. Like it's, you know, it's really sad how impactful, you know, this has been on the kids, especially. So what I would say is, you know, to really stand in your highest vibration and to show the people who are in fear that it's okay to be unmasked. It's okay to stand in your power. It's okay to up-level the vibe. So I really believe that there are these light workers and star seeds planted all over the world who are meant to just raise the vibration. So what I would say to a person who's in that country or in that place with really heavy mandates is, what can you do to live your best possible life? What brings the most amount of joy, the most amount of excitement, and therefore you can amplify that vibration of freedom rather than feel like, oh my God, it's so bad here and I'm stuck, right?
Wow. So she has a big, what do you say, role, great, important role to be in Italy then.
Yes, I feel that.
That's great. Okay. Same kind of thing. So I focus more on spirituality rather than what's going around on earth. I don't know. It's not that I don't care, but then I totally focus more on spirituality. So I follow your YouTube videos and I follow what you're doing more so than other people who talk about what's going on the earth. And some people do write to me and say that you're just being ignorant and you're sending information about spirituality that's gonna make people who watch the video being ignore about what's going on the earth. Is that okay? You're not doing the right thing. So people write to me and I'm doing what I want to do, so that's okay. I'm thinking that. But I'm trying to raise the vibration so people who watch the video, they will have the higher vibration, which equals to the earth's vibration, right? Making the earth's vibration higher.
So kind of my perspective on that is, like, for me personally, okay, is I'm a very like East meets West type of individual. Right. So I'm into the naturopathic, Eastern sort of, essential oils, crystals, homeopathy type of vibe. And then I'm like, you know what, if you break your back, you're not going to solve it by drinking some herbal tea. You're going to go get some back surgery, right?
Yeah.
So I am all about the balance between worlds. I believe that there have been channelers and way showers and Galactic Federation volunteers in the Western world, as well as in the Eastern world. Having all Eastern or all Western is going to be detrimental to us. We have everything available to us in this day and age. Why not have a little bit of everything without an attachment to anything, right? So this is like, because I get this message all the time of like, I'm ignorant, right? Oh my God, all the time. And And, you know, I do my own research. I don't necessarily read articles or watch mainstream news, but I remote view, I channel, I astral travel, I asked what's going on in the dark agendas and those kind of things. Like, for me, I think it's important to know what's happening, but not what they're telling us is happening.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
We got to figure out what's really happening.
Yeah.
And that requires us to go where? Within, right? There's no one that you can go to figure out what's happening other than feeling into what's happening and what resonates or does not resonate with you, which means that you have to develop your discernment abilities, which means that you have to develop your spiritual senses, right? So your channel and my channel are not dedicated to the third dimension. They're not dedicated to the fourth dimension. We're not politicians for a reason. We're not news anchors for a reason. We chose our place. We are not trying to be anything other than what we are. And if someone cannot accept that or wants something else from us, then go somewhere else.
Totally. Yeah.
Don't come to us and say, you're not doing what I want you to do. All right, cool. Well, I'm not going to change what I'm doing. And so ultimately what I believe, and I've said this before on my channel, you know, we are energy beings. We are existing in an energy realm. Yeah, we perceive it as physical, but it's not. You know, atoms have plenty of space in them. Atoms are in a wave form, not necessarily in a particle form all the time. We are in a quantum world. So in order to fully understand and therefore master this realm and reality, we can't look at the physical. We can't look at classical physics. We have to go to the quantum. We have to go to the energetic realms. And believe it or not, the energetic realms can be studied through quantum mechanics, right? And that's spirituality. Once we harness that, we can override any negative effects of the physical realm. So it's not us being ignorant to what's going on out there. It's us choosing to empower ourselves through a different avenue. I'm sorry, but I'm not choosing anxiety and fear and fight and flight, right? I know the world's collapsing, but I also simultaneously know a new world is being rebuilt. So what side am I going to choose? If I had to choose a side, which I don't like choosing a side, I'm going to understand that the old world is collapsing. And I'm going to choose to put majority of my focus and attention in the new world to rebuild it, because that's what I believe my place is. And that's what I believe your place is. We are here to rebuild the new world. We are not here to be concerned about the old world collapsing, because I think you and I both trust that it's happening. It's happening for a reason. It's super fucking corrupt. But here we are planting the seeds for what we want to see, not dwelling and amplifying and projecting what we don't want to see.
Wow. Totally. Wow.
Sorry,
yeah. I totally understand everything, but more so, especially on what you said, East meets the West part, where you know you get mixture of whatever you feel comfortable, right? It doesn't have to be only this side or that side. And I totally understand that. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Let's see. Another personal question. This person, it's a man, and he's doing it's not an office type of work. He goes out and like construction work or something like that. Yeah. And during the day, he's working, right? While he's working, just a little bit, a second, something flashed back in his mind. It's like a dream, but it's really instant. But the whole day, throughout the day, it happens a lot, many times, and he doesn't know why. Do you have any idea?
What are the flashbacks? Like, what is he flashing back to?
He says it's a dream. It's like a dream. It's not detailed. There's no detail, but it's like he's dreaming. He's like sleeping a dream, but he wakes up. That happens a lot throughout the day.
Yeah. So it kind of, you know, the word that comes to mind is like lucid. It feels like he's very lucid. So, I mean, you could just be doing computer work, or you could be doing just general labor work, or you could even be in a conversation with someone. And if it's not fully pulling you into the present moment, because you can do it very easily, you're going to start to drift your mind into other realms. So actually what I would say is that he's probably astro traveling somewhere else, right? He could be astro traveling into the dream realms. He could be astro traveling into other dimensions and having different sorts of experiences. So what I would tell him to kind of further this experience that he's having is to really try and, yes, be aware of the flashes and to try and hold on to one of them and run with it. Where am I right now? And then to really be present with that vision in a safe way, depending on what, machinery or equipment or whatever he's handling at the time, right? So you don't want to just
he's on the top of the 10th floor.
It's just do it safely, right? But I would say grab onto it, explore it, see where you can go with it. Yeah.
Great. Okay. That's pretty much the question. Thank you so much. Wow. I didn't think I was going to go through everything. All right. And it's 51. I'm just going to ask you, please say no if you don't feel like it, okay? I don't want to be rude, but I know everybody who's watching it, who will be watching it, want you to ask you. So I'm going to ask you, is it possible to receive a message from GFL about Japan, people of Japan today?
Yeah,
right
good
now?
question.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to quiet down.
1 second. Okay. Okay, this is really interesting. So there definitely is a message here for, everyone in Japan, but also like the land itself. It's so interesting. So I keep hearing the word sacred. Like the land of Japan is so sacred. The resources are sacred. The people are sacred. The beliefs are sacred. Like there's a lot of like just sacred energy there. And so what happened is a long time ago, I guess I want to say maybe like the formation of Japan, there were star brothers and sisters that came to the land, right? So like literally like from the cosmos to create and build philosophies, to build infrastructure, to develop farming, to really kind of expand the land and the people there. And they brought with them all this ancient wisdom and sacred knowledge from the stars, right? From the universe. And so those traditions were really upheld for quite some time. Like this is very sacred traditions. And then at a certain point in time, still quite a while ago, there was like darker influences that came in, and it feels like they came in through the form of more so like government or like structure into Japan, and they really took away a lot of the sacredness. And so what's happening right now, the reason why all this information came through is the people who are watching this channel and watching this interview, they really need to know that it's important to bring back the sacredness of the land, the sacredness of the knowledge and the traditions. So I would recommend go back into ancient Japanese traditions. I don't know the different, maybe even religions, like there's things to pull from that. Yeah, there's certain individuals that brought a lot of knowledge and information. And even though they would never say that they were channelers or that they got their information from other sources, they were truly connected with the star people. So it's important to kind of explore that. Maybe you can do a whole video on the sacredness or the ancient traditions of Japan and bringing some of that back. And then the other message that came through was like honoring the land by honoring the sacredness. So like really giving thanks to Japan and, you know, the beautiful landscapes that are there and the people that are there. And yeah, I mean, there's going to be people who are in lower vibrations everywhere, but the more gratitude you can hold for your land and for your people and for what the information that has been lost, the higher the vibration you rise yourself, and the more that you can spread that gratitude out. It's like, this is what I see a lot in North America is the traditions were lost, the information was lost, especially with the indigenous people. And it's up to us to bring that sacredness back through honoring, through ritual, through blessings, through gratitude, you know. And so there's so much in Japan, especially, besides any other country out there in the world, there's so much that Japan has to offer within spirituality, within consciousness, within rebirthing. And even now, like I'm just being told that there's a lot of way showers in Japan. Like there's a ton of like thought leaders and like individuals, even like in the science field, in the architectural fields. Like there's a lot of individuals who are pushing through. This is interesting. There's something else here as well. And this is actually more directed towards like the cities of Japan. There is like a lot of, I don't know how else to say this. Okay. There's a lot of like hybrid people there. Like I would say more so than the rest of the world. There's like a space or an energy of Japan that like, it's like, I don't know how to say it, but it's like the individuals who are more unique are like respected in a sense. Like it's almost like there's a safety there of like, you can really shine your light the brightest, opposed to maybe, I don't know, Germany or Bali or even America. Like there's a lot of just like tightness here that I don't really feel in Japan in that way. So there's a lot of cosmic influences there. There's a lot of volunteers who are there, who are meant to really shift the planet. And that's why I appreciate you so much, because you're bridging this gap between the English and the Japanese, and you're really kind of helping to bring this information to such a sacred land and such a sacred people. So it's about bringing that back and reminding people why they chose to incarnate into that country in particular.
Wow. Yeah. I was so afraid that you're going to say no. No, I only do it on the 11th.
No, absolutely.
Oh,
and
so kind. Wow.
What else did I want to say? Oh yeah, like Japan's always been on my bucket list, FYI. Like I really want to come to Japan. Like and my wife too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Come to our village.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, we'll
it looks
show you
absolutely
around.
Incredible there.
Yeah, it's like rice. We're making rice. It's rice field and back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
So please. When you do, please let me know.
I definitely will.
Yeah. We'll go pick you up.
Yeah, that'd be nice. You can translate for me.
Yeah. I'll follow. I'll be the translator for you.
There you go, the guide. Yeah, you could guide me. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
All right. So it's almost an hour, and I really appreciate your time. So the end, this is the end, but I want you to, not from the GFL, I want your message to Japanese people, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I believe that, individuals who are either watching this live or watching this after, you're here for a reason, right? You're showing up, you're experiencing this information, you're showing up not just for yourself, but for the collective. And from the bottom of my heart and from all of the spirit guides and all of the angels and all of the Galactic Federation, you're not alone. You're here for a reason. And you have so much more to give to the world So it's really important that you realize that you are here to give back, and you are here to also receive as well and live the best life you possibly can. So it's important that you cut cords, you separate from energies, from people, from jobs that no longer serve you, and you really truly step into yourself in a way that you believe that you deserve. You believe that you deserve to receive. You believe that you deserve to step into that power. You believe that you deserve to really shine the brightest that you possibly can, because I believe that you can, because you're here and you're getting this information for a reason. So I just want to say thank you, and please, please, please find that inner power, keep shining your light, and live your best possible life, because this is no longer a time to stay stuck and stay obligated.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, EA.
Thank you.
I'm so happy. Thank you so much. So I will translate all of this, and so people in Japan can understand what you said. Wow, there's nothing that I can cut. Right? Wow, everything was so beautiful. Thank you so much. It's 11 o'clock here. All right, we'll finish this interview. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna keep live streaming. So what should I do? Should I just, or maybe it's better for you to exit the room? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this. Oh, there you go. Okay. All right. Thank you, EA, and I hope we can do this again sometime. Ooh, sorry. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
じゃん。終わりました。どうだったですか、皆さん。家ちゃんと出れたかなあ、出れたみたいです。本当すごいね。ありがとうございました。どうでした皆さん。なんか全部英語だったけど、すごい波動とかめちゃくちゃなんか感じていただけたんじゃないかなと思いました。すごいなんかいいね。いい波動、本当に。なんかスパチャもたくさんいただいてありがとうございます。タラちゃんありがとう。いや、すごい楽しかった。最後にちょっとチャットとか拾えなくてごめんなさいです。竹野新殿ありがとう。わー、すごいね。アメリカっていうか、海外にいる人たちとこうやってつながれるって、本当素晴らしい。わー。OK。ヨシさんも来てくれてるの？そう。わー、マジで。いや、でも、最後、皆さん、まだライブ終わってない。一応ね、最後ね、ちゃんと、そうなんですよ。どうしても、EA に GFL につながって日本のためのメッセージを下ろしてほしいってもうダメ元で聞いたらいいよいいよって言ってくれたので下ろしてもらったらもうなんかすごいドンピシャなメッセージだった。なんか言ってたのはまあ和訳するんですけど、日本のそのいろんなもうつながった瞬間に GFL だけじゃなくていろんな存在が一斉にバーって叫んだ言葉が神聖、日本は神聖な土地で神聖で人もそうだし土地、特に土地を言ってた。日本の土地って本当に神聖なので、今ってそういうのが、なんて言うんだろう、忘れ去られてるとかそういう言葉を使ってたかな、そういう多分意味だったと思うんだけども、それを取り戻すのが今すごく必要だって言ってた。なんかすごいねと思って、多分なんか事前にそうやって調べたりすることはするんじゃなくて、そのリモートでねつながってメッセージを下ろしたりする人だと思うんだけど、それを言ってたのは神聖。日本ってすごくあとね、日本っていうのはハイブリッドがすごい多いんだって。今つながってすごい話しながらもつながってて。で今こう言ってるって言ってたんだけど、日本人って本当にハイブリッド な方が多くて、特にライトワーカーもすごく多いから、その神聖さを取り戻して、で、やっぱりその内側の、内側の力、サイキックな力とかを取り戻しつつ、その日本からこう盛り上げていく、日本の波動を上げてイコール地球の波動を上げていくっていうのをね、すごい言ってた。そこが重要なんだよって、あなたたちの役割みたいなね、なんかそういうことを、を言ってた。ひろみちゃんハイブリッドって言ってるけど、宇宙人プラス、その混合っていうやつ意味ね。そうそう、そういうことを言ってた。うん。だから、いや、本当にね、すごい使命を持ってきてると本当に思うし、うん、ハイブリッドってそうだからね、人と宇宙人とのミックスっていう意味だと思うんだけど、いや本当すごかった。本当やってよかった。本当皆さんありがとうございます。うん。あとなんだろうな。いやもう本当全部が、質問全部まとめて挑んだんですけど、本当最善のタイミングで全ての質問を聞くことができて、すごい良かったなと思います。なんか多分きっとね、EA が伝えたかったことも伝えられたと思うので、それはすごく良かったなって思ってます。ゆきおさんありがとうございます。嬉しい。そう、取り戻そう、取り戻そう。いろんなことが起きてるけど、そう、EA がすごく言ってて、私も本当にレズネイト、本当にそう思う、同じ共感するところは、やっぱり今起きていることにフォーカスしちゃいがちなんだけれども、そうじゃなくて、そこじゃなくて、いや、それを事実を知る、何が起こっているのを知るかもすごく大事だけど、スピリチュアル性を高めるっていうところもすごく大事で、やっぱりテレビや新聞やニュースが報道していることって、いや、本当に真実かって言ったらどうなのっていうところじゃないですか。で、そこを見極めるのって、家が言ってて、私もそうだと思うんだけど、スピリチュアル性を高めていくと、なんか腑に落ちるとか、そういうところがね、分かってくる。だから、やっぱりね、今起こっていることにとらわれすぎてて、その情報を追っていくと自分も不安になるし、波動もやっぱり下がると思うんですよね。だから、もうポジティブ、そうだな、スピリチュアル性、どんどん、やっぱりね、EA が出してるのって本当スピリチュアルな的なことばっかなんですけど、そこを学んでいったり、そこの精神性を高めていくっていうのは本当大事だと思う。だから、やっぱり私は、そういうところをね、配信していきたいと思いました。ありがとうございます。そうそう。一発逆転、スターシードジャパン。嬉しいね。そうそう。J さんも来てくれてる。ありがとう。日本は神聖な土地、異星人が最初に立った。そうそう、それも言ってた。この日本に次元上昇の秘密も秘められている。そうそう、日本海の水が上がると、とんでもない古代文明が出てくるとか。そうかもしれないって思うよね。すごい。てるみ佐藤さん、神とつながるには衣食住の見直しが最短、思考を正してスピが高まる、それには衣食住の見直しが必須。本当、それもいい言ってました。やっぱり昔の日本人に戻るっていうのはすごく大事だって思う。言ってた。千里ちゃん、話変わるけど、おやきさん神社とか行くの？前はあんまり興味なくて行ってなかったけど、ただ自然の中にいるグラウンディングするためにはすごく行きます。で、なんかね、そうだな、神社に、お参りもやっぱり入らせてもらうっていう意味ではお参りとかもするけど、もっとなんかグラウンディングしたり、木に手を当ててメッセージを受け取ったり、なんかそういうことはよくします。花ちゃん、ありがとうございます。パチャ。おやきさんがいなければよくのわからない私は海外の素晴らしい人々のメッセージ知りませんでした。ちょっぴり感謝しました。ありがとうございます。嬉しいな。そうそう、そんな感じですよ。いや、ほんとね、私も涙出ちゃった。なんか、そう、すごいぶっ飛んだ内容。5次元に アセンションしたら私たちはその5次元にいることが分かるんですかっていう質問、素敵な質問をね、いただいてたんですよね。で、結構皆さんからその質問はあって、3次元、4次元、5次元にいる時のっていうのは分かるのかって、今でさえ私たちって今5次元にいると思うんですよね。だから、なんて言うんだろう。どっか別の星に行くとかそういうなんじゃなくて、その意識的に、次元を超えていくっていうのはすごく私も今感じていて、家もそのことを話してたんだけど、ただこう緑を大自然の中で木を見てるだけで涙が出るとか最近すごくあるんですけど、ほらライブでね、桜もうちょっとってちっちゃうんだなって言ったら涙が出てくるとかねそういう時ってやっぱり5次元にいるんだよって言ってくれてて、ただほらニュースを見て今起きてることをね、にどっぷり使っちゃってたら3次元に引っ張られるとかそういうことも言って、なるほどなって思った。そうそうそう。楽しかった。ね、なんかちょっとでもこの、ぜひぜひシェアしていただく。英語だから和訳の方がいいのかもしれないですけどね、拡散して、一人でも多くの方が気づけたらなって思います。農作業とかでアーシングも大事。ほんとね、やっぱりそこ原点かなって思う。パソコンでカチャカチャっていうのもあれだけど、やっぱりそこ原点に戻るっていうのは大事なのかなって思う。はい、嬉しいな。はい、訳して。そうだね。はい、頑張ります。頑張ります。久美子さん、ありがとう、スパチャー。ナイスパココナちゃんにね、私こういうチャットのなんとかいろいろってわかんないから、一番最初にスパチャをいただいたときに、みんなナイスパナイスマナイスパってチャットくれて、ナイススパって風呂のことしかわかんないから、なんだろう、ナイスパ誰かお風呂に入ったのかなとか思ったら、ココナちゃんにすごい笑われて、全然知らないんだねって言われた。ありがとうございます。投げ銭ね。素敵素敵。いやー、ほんと楽しかったな。なんか、全然後悔がないっていうか、嬉しい。皆さんのおかげです。本当質問くださった方は本当にありがとうございます。本当に本当に一つ一つの質問がすごく意味あるものだった。個人的な質問もすごく意味があるものだった。本当に良かったです。そういうわけで、私、1111、この時計見たら。ヘンゼルナンバー、嬉しい。風呂。風呂に入って見てんのかなと思ったんだよ、その時。ライブをね、嬉しいなって思って。面白い。はい。そう、多分今日メインチャンネルの方が解除されると思うんで、長い、ランブルに上げてるけど、やっぱランブルはね、視聴回数上がらないんですよ。っていうのは、日本語じゃないからっていうのが大きいと思うんですけどね、本当日本語版を作ってほしいなってすごい切に願うんですけど、あそこ検閲がないんでね。思うんですけど、やっぱり、前回のホワイトクラウド、ブラッサムさんとホワイトクラウドと、で、途中で違う、光の連合が降りてきてくれたんですけど、また、あれもすっごいエネルギー高いので、ぜひ見ていただきたいと思うので、もし制限がなければ、多分15分以上制限かかっちゃうこともあるんですよね。わかんないけど。でなければ、配信しようと思います。そうでなければ分割して配信しようかなと思ってますので、楽しみにしていてください。三村さん、ラーメン見てみますよ。ありがとう。ありがとう。面白い。いつもコメントをくれて、いつも大笑いするっていうね。はい、そんな感じで、本当にありがとうございました。どうしよう、お昼寝でもしようかな。エネルギーすごい使った感じだから。わかんない。でも田植えもしたいし、心の赴くままにやっていきたいと思います。それでは、皆さん、これからも、言っちゃっていいのかな、引っかかっちゃ嫌だから、メインチャンネルも、おやきたいやきチャンネルもよろしくお願いします。近いうちにね、Pray Together Live をしたいと思います。はい。ありがとうございます。本当に皆さん来てくれてありがとうございました。はい。それでは、素敵。ありがとうございます。あれ忘れたね。 See you in fifth dimension frequency っていうのね。5次元でまたお会いしましょうって言ってもらうの忘れちゃってた。うん、また次回。なんか日本にも来たいって言ってくれてて、その時はもうぜひぜひ専属の翻訳、トランスレーターで、いろいろついていかせてくださいって言ってるんで、きっとそれも叶うと思う。ひろみちゃんありがとう。スパチャ、ナイスパ。ありがとうございました。本当に。またライブやりましょう。土いじりしようね。ありがとうございます。それでは、切りますよ。バイバーイ。行こう。